Hello, world. It's Friday. Isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that what you asked me for? You said on Monday, you said, Drake, can you get me to Friday? I said, man, I'll do my best. And a lot has changed since then. A lot's changed since you and I met on Monday. It was 6 a.m. at the time on the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. And now today, this day, Friday, January 30th, we've made it. And in the middle of that, the Buffalo Bills have a new head coach. Bill Belichick is still not a Hall of Famer. The Philadelphia Eagles have an OC. That's right. Offensive coordinator's in town, baby. Yeah, war is over. Eagles fans can rejoice, maybe. Robert Saleh introduced as the Titans head coach. Ian Cunningham leaving the Bears as the Falcons GM. Oh, and by the way, in the middle of all of this, the New England Patriots will play the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, and both of the teams' quarterbacks are hanging on by a thread. And maybe the most important storyline in the middle of it all is I became a tea guy this week, thanks to the electric kettle that came in yesterday. I don't really know what 8 ounces is of water, of hot water, and whether or not. Addie, you've got an eye on this. I've got this little Yeti guy. Is this 12 ounces, 8 ounces, 16 ounces? What's the average mug, and what am I working with here?
Well, so the average cup of coffee is 8 ounces.
Thank you.
But that kind of looks
big.
That kind of looks like it. I mean, I would say that's average sized.
I just spit it out all over the floor thanks to you. Actually,
I did see that.
I think it's because I burnt myself. I'm going to do the McDonald's thing and have to sue because the electric kettle makes the water way too hot. Good to know, though.
Did you try putting it between your legs?
Yes, I did. Wow. What happens when you burn the heck out of your tongue before you start a radio show? How do you operate the rest of the day? Does this become the Addie Bates show?
I could see the steam coming out of that cup.
I don't think I liked that at all. Is there a tongue graft? How does that work? When do my taste buds replenish themselves from ow? I have to figure out the electric oh, that's what it is.
It's just a waiting game.
That's the problem of the Yeti, is it's too good at its job. It keeps things too hot. I should just take the lid off and make it cooler. This is a lot for me. I'm trying to be an adult and not drink 700 milligrams of caffeine every day. And step one in doing that was to become a tea guy, and already the tea has harmed me irreparably.
So are you going to sue Yeti?
Maybe. Or I could sue whoever this electric
That might be the only option.
kettle company is. And you know what? And we're back to the energy drinks. And there you go. That was really fast.
Relapsed already.
Energy drinks have never burned my tongue. Thank you. Curtis Poindexter runs the board in Santa Monica, California, Culver City, L.A., whatever you want to call it. We had that discussion this week. Addie Bates produces from Washington, D.C. This is the Drake Toll Show. Good morning, Curtis.
How's it going?
There he is. You guys don't understand. America doesn't understand. From Rochester to Reading, that any given morning, and almost every morning, I will send Curtis something at, 5:56 a.m. and say, hey, can we listen to this in 7 minutes?
Here we go again.
And he's so good at what he does. And Addie and I both. We give it to Curtis, and Curtis makes magic. And he's right here for you today for free.
We do give it to him.
We give it to Curtis every day. And one of my favorite stories today, we'll start off. Ian Cunningham leaving the Bears, taking over with the Falcons. We'll give you a bit on the Eagles hiring the Packers QB coach Sean Mannion, and a bit on Cam Ward with Robert Saleh, Brian Daboll, what that's going to look like in Nashville. But I listened yesterday to Joe Brady in his introduction as the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. And you know what? I think I liked it. I think I'm kind of bought in. Here is what Joe Brady had to say. I mean, I emailed this minutes ago to Curtis Poindexter, and what a champ. Here's what Joe Brady had to say in his press conference that stood out the most to me when he gave a love letter, when he waxed poetic about the city of Buffalo and what it means to be their head man.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a minute 40.
Buffalo isn't just where I work. And this is a kid from South Florida. Buffalo is not just where I work. It's where my life changed. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than right here, right now. And I mean that in my whole heart and my family. My wife and I got married while we've been living here. We didn't even take a honeymoon right away so that we can spend our first summer here in Buffalo and experience in Buffalo. Both of my kids were born in Buffalo. And they're going to be raised their entire life to have so much pride in being able to say that they're from Buffalo. This city and this organization puts so much life into me professionally, and I don't take that lightly. I want to make the city proud every day, and I understand the pride, and I want to do everything I can to earn wearing this logo. The pride and passion of the Buffalo Bills is second to none. Bills Mafia. I feel it. I felt it. There's no other place that when you travel, there's unwritten rules that you have to wear Bills logos. And you go on an airplane and you'd swear that we're playing a home game the next day because it's completely full of Bills fans. And the power that no matter where you are in the country, you can be in Italy, you can be in California, you can be across the world, that power that as you walk by someone and they're wearing a Bills logo, and the powerful words, I'm not saying much, but just saying, go Bills. I believe in the Bills Mafia. I have so much power and respect for it. I have respect for it. And I want to do everything I can to continue earning their respect and putting something on the field that they are proud of.
He won. He did it. He won the press conference. Check. The first box is good to go. Joe Brady went to the podium, told you what you wanted to hear. Buffalo. 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 At trivia on Wednesday, Addie took a shot for every time that Joe Brady was prepared to say Buffalo in his opening statement during his press conference. Addie, how many shots was that?
And you need to take, a shot from the front and the back, whatever it is.
I believe it was around 13.
It was
13, I think, was the number.
It was a lot. And you bet your ass she was right back up here on the Drake Toll Show the next morning. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app.
Do anything for my team. Come on now.
It is easy to win the press conference, by the way. You can also lose the press conference and still win. Remember Liam Cohen? Anybody? Duval. When he did that, everybody thought, oh, no, that's not going to work here. And he took the Jags to the playoffs this season. Trevor Lawrence and company to the playoffs. But for Joe Brady, here's the problem. I get it. Josh Allen is smiling. He loves the players. The players love him. We'll hear more from Joe Brady later on in the show. But here is the problem when you ask me. Is the guy that wins the press conference still hasn't won a game. And some people can be really lovable. Remember when Mike McDaniel was the cool, new, hot guy? All the players are going to love him because he's young and he vapes. Yeah. It didn't work out, did it? Just because you won the press conference, just because you seem like a player's coach, just because Josh Allen smiles at you and loves you, doesn't mean it's going to work out. Doesn't mean it's all rosy. And it reminds me of William McGonagall. William McGonagall, a poet. Love this guy. One of my favorite weird characters from history is McGonagall. 19th century Scotland, so 1800s in Scotland. He was one of the worst poets of all time. Nicest guy in the world. In the world. Everybody loved him. He was so good with his words in conversation, but so bad when he wrote them down. Masterclass in how not to write. Style was defined by inconsistent rhythms. He would use a line with 4 syllables, and the next line, 24 syllables. Have you ever met a girl that you tried to date, but a year to make love, she wanted you to wait? I was talking to this girl from the U.S. nation. He was the 1800s version of Bismarcky. Would just cram in words. Like he's shoving it into a suitcase. Love to rhyme, just like the most predictable stuff. He said city. He'd rhyme it with pity. Again, so Bismarcky. And then we'll just, throw in weird, boring, factual details. My favorite of his that I do remember from college reading is the masterpiece of all masterpieces, the Tay Bridge disaster. Here's an excerpt. McGonagall says, "Beautiful railway bridge of the silvery Tay. Alas, I'm very sorry to say, that 90 lives were taken away." Well, they're all dead. "On the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time." Yeah, man. Dudes rock. Just beautiful, silvery, and then everyone died. 1879, very long time. Good rhyming right there. Good rhyming right there. But you know what? Everybody loved the guy. He had fans that would come to his house and ask him to read aloud his poetry to them because he was so fun to be around. Even when audiences were pelted for listening to him, people would be pelted because the rest of society was like, stop, this guy sucks and he's bad. They would keep showing up. Stale bread, flour, peas, everything that had been thrown on them didn't matter. Because they loved the man that they would call Sir William McGonagall, the Knight of the White Elephant. They gave him that nickname because he was so freaking lovable. He was amazing to the people. He got a fake letter from the fake king of Burma that knighted him. And many poets know him as the Great Bad. What a nickname, man, the Great Bad. And that's what I want to prepare you for with Joe Brady. Everyone loves him. He won the press conference. But he's still the guy that 4 days ago got hired as the head coach after being the offensive coordinator for the head coach that got fired. Can we forget all that already? Can we forget all that just because the press conference was good? Maybe. I do not want us to forget. Robert Saleh will be the play caller. Here is what he had to say when he jumped into his own press conference, introducing himself as the head coach in Nashville.
Fast and violent, man. Play in and play out. We're going to play with speed. We're going to play confident. We're going to have some swag. Talk a little, but I want them to show who they are. Play in and play out. And like I said, the one thing that you'll notice is the speed at which we play and the violence at which we do it. Yeah.
That's also how you win a press conference. Speed and violence, baby. Robert Saleh did the exact same. Came to the podium, sounded great. And it felt like he was the head coach. It felt like he was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. And he'll call the defense. Brian Daboll will call the offense. Yeah. The same guy that didn't call plays in New York. It's going to be fast and violent and Coach Cam Ward hard. And he says
we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Not calling plays when he was with the New York Jets. When he was 20-36 in his time there, which hindsight's 20/20, but 20-36. If you're the head coach of the Jets, is really just not that bad. It's really not that bad. That's more wins than most guys have at this point. And he also said in the press conference it wasn't about control, it's about connecting with the players. Hey, the Falcons went and hired Kevin Stefanski. They hired Matt Ryan. They hired the 40-year-old GM, 40-year-old Ian Cunningham from the Bears. Which, by the way, you've never heard of Ian Cunningham. It's my favorite part of the coaching carousel, of the GM carousel. Of, oh, I can't believe it! I'm so excited. We hired Ian Cunningham. I've been ready for this one. You first saw his name 72 hours ago, and in that 72 hours, you've realized, oh, cool. He's been an assistant GM since 2022 with the Bears. Nice. Oh, he's made good trades, and he worked for the Eagles. Like, all right. Now you're excited, huh? But these guys, their first job is to win the press conference. The first job of the Eagles offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, is to win the press conference. The 33-year-old, by the way, Sean Mannion, young guy. And you know what? So far, sweeping success in press conferences. But everybody loved Sir McGonagall. It didn't make him good at his job. It didn't make him a good poet. It didn't change the fact that he would rhyme 1879 with a very long time. So, back to reality. Because today, after the press conference is over, you're actually the GM. You're actually the offensive coordinator or the head coach. And the real work begins. You know somebody else who won their press conference this week in a big way? His name is Mike McCarthy. Jeff Schwartz came on this show and said, Steelers fans, have hope. Here's why. Here's why the Steelers can win and will win. This is Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines pumping and thumping in time. The green light flashes, the flags go up. Churning and burning, they yearn for the cup. They deftly maneuver and muscle for rank. Fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they pour through the turns. Their prowess is potent and secretly stern. As they speed through the finish, the flags go down. The fans get up and they get out of town. The arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun has gone down and the moon has come up. And long ago somebody left with the cup. But he's driving and striving and hugging the turns and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance. No trophy, no flowers, no flashbulbs, no wine. He's haunted by something he cannot define. Bowel-shaking earthquakes of doubt and remorse assail him, impale him with monster truck force. In his mind, he's still driving, still making the grade. She's hoping in time that her memories will fade. Cause he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. The sun has gone down and the moon has come up. And long ago somebody left with the cup. But he's striving and driving and hugging the turns and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. Cause he's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. He's going the distance.
Dear friend, if you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crushed up by voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no life is a rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover. Well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, a one way can't miss. just like Joshua on the fabled walls of Jericho. I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're prayed and meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken to my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this son. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this son. You need to see me right about now.
Touch yourself. Touch yourself. What a treat it is to wake up next to you, America. Drake Toll with you from the Drake Toll Show. The Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Right here, right now, you and me. Living on your radio. You're eating breakfast right now. You decided to go through the drive-thru today, get a coffee, put it between your legs, spilled it everywhere. Now you're going to sue. And in the middle of that, the Drake Toll Show is on. You're listening to The Fan, your favorite radio station. And bang, here we go. It's me and you and you and me. And you know what? Here's the craziest part of this whole damn thing. It's early. You don't really love mornings. You're not much of a morning person. And you're thinking, I don't really care that the Eagles got an offensive coordinator. I don't really care that the Buffalo Bills introduced Joe Brady. You know, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I love my Houston Texans. Why should I really care? Well, there's a reason. Because you know what? When I turn the TV on and I see all this stuff about how Bill Belichick and his girlfriend Jordan may have broken up, E-News style, baby. This is the place. This is the opportunity. This is where you and I come together in the mornings. We have real sports conversations. And a little fun in between, because I'm learning to become a tea guy. Is that demasculating? Addie, I know that testosterone levels are at an all-time low because of sports betting giving second-half reboots or insurance to its listeners, users, whatever, for injuries. Am I losing testosterone for becoming a tea guy?
No, not at all. I think it's like a little performative, though. Like, I want you to be reading, like, The Myth of Sisyphus and carry, like, a record bag with you now while you drink your tea.
That's really gross. I did not see. You went from no, it's okay to here are the stupidest, worst things you could possibly do. You think?
Whoa!
You think Daryl in Somerset,
Myth of Sisyphus,
Pennsylvania?
by the way, is great.
Daryl, who's finally bought into the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike McCarthy because he's a Yinzer has been brought in as the head. You think Daryl's sitting here listening like, yeah, man, that dude should be listening to Sisyphus, reading some Sisyphus. That's the Boulder guy, right? Push the
No,
boulder
but
up
I
the
feel
hill.
like maybe like a Ben in Monrovia, California is
Boulder
going to be like, yeah, educate yourself. Educate yourself. I love it. It's great. This is great for you, Drake.
All right, Sam
This is
in
a great-
Mission
this is a
Viejo,
great period of your
California.
life.
What? Just because it's California, you think they read about Sisyphus struggles? Curtis, spell Sisyphus.
Have you even read the novel?
Isn't it SYS something?
Yep, SYS something. Bunch of other letters. SSSS PPPP. The end. You were right
Boy,
on.
Curtis.
Yep, but to Addie, anybody in California surely is educated enough to read something about Sisyphus and drink their tea. That's so demeaning and stereotypical.
No, it's not at all. I think that's a beautiful thing. You're into philosophy. Oh, I love that. You're trying to educate yourself. Love it. It's amazing.
Educate yourself. Educate yourself. You're sentient.
Touch yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally...
Drink some tea, burn your tongue.
I'm vibing with a guy in Somerset, Pennsylvania, who drinks coffee black, and that's it. He doesn't care about Sisyphus. He cares about Mike McCarthy, the head coach
Drake,
of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
you can't go like a week without eating an expensive steak. Like I just don't think you and the coal miners in Kentucky are on the same level here.
Here's the
You're
difference.
in an electric shed.
I'm cooking that steak.
Banana shed.
I'm making sure.
You're sitting at a bar.
Sometimes I go get steak at a restaurant because I'm on the road. I travel for work. I don't think that should mar my relationship with the community of Somerset, Pennsylvania here. And I hope it does not. I hope that when you, people of Somerset, go on the road for work and have to, mine the coal mines elsewhere, when they send you on professional development in the other coal mines, a state over. By the way, there aren't coal miners really in Somerset, Pennsylvania. I'm not. I know my geography.
That's why I said Kentucky.
Yeah. That those guys, I want those guys to know, like, if they travel for work, they have permission to go get a steak. And that's plenty okay. I don't even really go to fancy steakhouses. I go to like, hey, we're cosplaying as a fancy steakhouse. And it's never really that good. So I just cook my own.
What's your go-to steak?
A real man.
What's your
A
go-to
ribeye. A ribeye. As it should be. You know what the office did for me yesterday for my birthday? You know what they did? They got me a gift card to the Ogeechee Food Market, to the Ogeechee Meat Market. So I'm going to go get me locally cut ribeye from that market and be very happy. Happy birthday to me.
How do you like it cooked?
Medium rare. I'm a man. I'm a good old-fashioned man.
Good.
I'm from Valonia,
Who takes
Arkansas.
children's Tylenol. I just have to check the boxes here, okay?
Population 3,518. If I was like, oh, me? I love a good New York strip cooked medium. Wrong. Incorrect.
There's
and if
nothing
that's
wrong
you,
with the New York strip.
If that's you, I don't even know if I can respect that. Occasionally, a filet will hit. A tenderloin, I get it. But a strip? A sirloin? No. Put some fat on that thing.
A strip is a good cut. It's
no ribeye, that's for sure. It's no ribeye.
I don't have to cut around all the fat.
When I did buy this house a year ago, it had the shed, and that was the reason that I wanted it. There's power out here, and so I can keep it temperature controlled and host shows out here, and it's like a little studio in my backyard. But when we walked in, there were hooks all over the ceiling, like really big hooks, as if people had been swinging things from the ceiling of this shed. And one of my friends was like, oh, I seem to remember an adult friend of mine who's a swinger, like not, literally on swings, but, swinger, who would go to these swinger parties on Wilmington Island where I live, and these people had this, shed thing where they would get it on. It's like, huh. It's a
No shame in that.
Specific thing. And then I walk into this shed, there are hooks all over the walls, all over the ceiling, like industrial. I left some of them as relics. So God only knows what has happened in these confines prior to me gracing them. But here we are, with America's ears lent. And in the middle of it, we have breaking news. Per at Shane Tuttle, NCAA, Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson are reportedly no longer dating. Addie, initial reactions?
Could not care less.
Care
less, actually. Well,
it was devastating to me, and happy to find out Shane Tuttle is one of those AI bot Twitter accounts. So thank God It's fake breaking news. Adam Schefter's not on this one. Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson still dating. All is well in the world. Love is still real. Love is alive. Stumbling in. That is a perfect segue.
Ooh.
What?
Great. By the way, great little bit there. I'm shocked you knew that. I love that. Okay. Bonus points for Drake C. Toll right there.
What did I do?
Stumbling in. Great song.
It's a good song, yeah.
Great song.
Rejoin coming up in the next hour. Jeff Schwartz, NFL veteran, media legend, joined the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, to talk to a guy who I likened to Bill Belichick, and that is Mike McCarthy. And Schwartz says Steelers fans, even on a move like this, where you might feel like, I want to die, like the Illinois basketball player, Jeff Schwartz says you should have hope.
Yeah, it's a good question. Look, there's hope, right? And the NFL is our favorite sport for many reasons. One of them is hope, right? And there's an incredible amount of hope in a locker room. And I think you have to believe in what your team is doing. Otherwise, what's the purpose of going through everything that we go through as players to not believe in our staff and in our decisions? So I think there's going to be just hope, right? Like, okay, we bring in McCarthy. We know he can coach quarterbacks. Maybe he got stale with Tomlin, and players might disagree with that. But there's going to be hope that McCarthy can be the guy to take them to where they want to go. I don't think that on day one there's going to be a ton of players who are not on board with this. I mean, it's just the nature of it. You just sort of have to buy in. Otherwise, it's a pretty miserable existence in the NFL if you're not happy where you are. And so, yeah, some of the older guys that probably have such loyalty to Tomlin probably don't love it. But McCarthy's going to come in today. He's going to meet with all the players. He's going to say the things he has to say. He'll meet with all the veterans and talk about a leadership council. And it's going to feel good today. Their biggest problem is quarterback. McCarthy, the 3 years in Dallas when Dak was healthy, he won 12 games all 3 years. The 1 year he was not healthy, he won 7 games. So he can win games. They need a quarterback, though. Aaron Rodgers is not a long-term solution. Not a great draft for a quarterback. Not really many guys available via trade that you feel great about. So, McCarthy's tenure in Pittsburgh will come down to figuring out who the quarterback is.
That's good, man. That's good. Jeff Schwartz saying pump the brakes a little bit. And though you may hate this, though you may think this was the wrong move, or a move that isn't sexy, if there's one thing in the National Football League we can all hold on to, unless you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, it is hope. There is hope for the future. That's what a lot of these coaches gave you at their press conferences this week, and that's what I feel like Mike McCarthy can still give Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Matt Zenitz tweets, Patrick Graham has accepted the Steelers' defensive coordinator job and finalized a deal to become McCarthy's new DC in Pittsburgh. Was the Raiders DC the last 4 seasons. Bang! There it goes. There's the hope. Gone. See you later. Bye. Bye. Well, it was fun. 72 hours. Where McCarthy was announced last weekend as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. And they did his press conference, and everybody said, yeah. And then Schwartz, he nailed it. Said, have hope. Lean into this. It'll all be okay. Mike McCarthy said, ha! Wrong. I'm going to hire that's right, Raiders defensive coordinator who served that role for 4 god-awful, terrible, gross, throw-up-in-my-mouth years. That's great, man. What goes up must come down. Patrick Graham, congratulations. And that is just so beautifully Pittsburgh Steelers. Hiring Mike McCarthy for him to bring in the DC from the Raiders. At least we're talking football, right? I was listening to a radio show this morning, a national show this morning, as I was getting prepped for our show, Addie. And one of the hosts said, what do you guys think about contemporary art? So I said, what? That's just a good 10-minute conversation about the ebbs and flows of contemporary art. And I thought, maybe we should
we're going to do that next segment?
Yeah, maybe we should bury that into our show. The other national shows are doing it. Maybe we should do it on ours. Or we'll skip that for today. Thankfully, we can skip it due to Ethos Life. The easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam. Just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Checkethos.com. Coming up, 310-840-4910. Phone lines open, 310-840-4910. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Time for our biggest losers of the day on the Drake Toll Show.
Well, I'm high as a fly on Willie Nelson's wall, and I can't remember where I am at all, and I don't know where my mind has taken me, with my boots in my hand and my hat on my feet. Somebody drive me home. Well, I don't know if I should be left alone, and if my girlfriend calls, well, tell her I'm just a fly on the wall. Well, I'm drunk as an uncle in a Walmart parking lot, blaring Margaritaville and taking up 2 spots. Windows down, beer cans on the ground, and I ain't moving if the police come around. Somebody drive me home. Well, I don't know if I should be left alone, and if my girlfriend calls, well, tell her I'm just a fly on the wall. I'm sober as a judge, shaking hands with everyone, but there ain't no way to tell if I'll ever be done. With a smile on my face and a twinkle in my eye, buddy, I'm gonna stay this way until the day I die. Somebody drive me home. Well, I don't know if I should be left alone, and if my girlfriend calls, well, tell her I'm just a fly on the wall. Oh, yeah, tell her I'm just a fly on the wall.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes, don't let the moon break your heart. Love blooms at night, in daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes, or keep your heart from me, for someday I'll return and you know you're the only one I'll ever love. Too many nights,
Too many nights,
too many stars,
too many stars.
too many moons to change your mind.
Don't let the moon change your mind.
If I'm gone too long, don't forget where you belong. When the stars come out, remember you are mine. Don't let the stars get in your eyes, don't let the moon break your heart. Love blooms at night, in daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes, or keep your heart from me, for someday I'll return and you know you're the only one I'll ever love.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart. sunny days.
Too many nights to be alone.
Too many nights all alone.
Oh, please keep your heart while we are apart. Don't you linger in the moonlight when I'm gone.
While I'm gone.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart.
Don't let the moon break your heart.
Love blooms at night. In daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in.
Oh. Whoa.
Jordan Bells.
Touch yourself.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bells.
Here we go.
Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these.
The Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll, Addie Bates, Curtis Poindexter, Jordan Belfort. January 30th, a Friday. It's your last day of the week, man. You get to go on the weekend now. You get to do the Saturday tomorrow and the Sunday the next day. Sleep in a little bit. Cash some happy checks. Do whatever you do. Go on the boat on Saturday. Go to church on Sunday. Do what you do. Go to temple, go to mosque, hang out. I don't care what you do, but do what you do. And you know what? If you live in Savannah, Georgia, enjoy the snow. The winter storm is hitting America again. One just hit us, and it's deciding, you know what?
Here we go again.
I'm back for more. Even in Culver City, California, the gracious home of Curtis Poindexter, it is cold. Addie, can you actually, I'll segue this. I'll do this. It's the Drake Toll Show, 310-840-4910, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. And it's time for our biggest losers of the day. Addie, I think biggest loser number one for me needs to be tennis. I love tennis, by the way. Really like the product. Enjoy watching it. Why are Djokovic and Sinner playing at 10:44 p.m. local time in Australia? And they're only in their second set.
It's a beautiful thing.
No. I'm wondering, what? They're going to play until 1 a.m. local time. Who allowed that to happen? Why is that happening?
Because in Australia right now, the temperatures are crazy, so they've had to move all of these times around. It got up to 105 or something crazy earlier in the tournament, so they've had to adjust so they can deal with the heat.
So that's what it is. They're making them play. Look, I can't operate at this point in my life, now that we're doing a morning show, past 10:30. They're doing men's tennis at 10:45. And they're not even close to done with the
Yeah, I mean, it's hot. No, it's hot. That's the problem with the heat like this, is that they have to. There we go. Yannick Sinner finally deciding to lock in. That's what I needed right now. I needed that.
Should be you out there, Addie. Always thought you could make it. That's...
Be that towel.
Fine. Biggest loser number one can be the sun for what it's done to the Australian Open. Biggest loser number two. Addie, is there any chance in hell that South Carolina Federal Credit Union sponsors a national radio show?
Would you like it to?
No, I don't think so. Just making sure I'm not
I don't think they would.
Preemptively burning bridges here. I don't think I am. Yesterday, I went to the DMV to change my registration. I bought the Bronco. I got that Ford Bronco, right? I bought it in South Carolina. I needed to get a license plate, change my registration to Georgia. Listen to this. I go to change the registration over. Lady says, oh, I need your account number for your loan, right? Because, people take out loans for vehicles. I said, okay, let me call the place. I've never logged into my, bank account, loan account. I need to call them, log into the app, figure it all out. So I figure I could call the company, South Carolina Federal Credit Union, give them my social security number and my birthday, and they tell me, okay, here is your account number, right? That would be normal. I call, Lady says, hi, I'm Monique. Can I help you? Yes, you can. Here's what I need. She says, okay, give me your social. So I gave her, 9, 7, 7, 6, 9. And I said it just like that. She said, okay, can I have your email? Drake, DRAKE .C.TOLL. I'm giving her the whole thing. And then she says, okay, can I have your address? Give it 189. So here we go, right? Plain and simple. She keeps telling me, Addie, what does she keep saying? She keeps saying, oh, you're breaking up a bit. Can you repeat that? So I keep repeating it. I repeat it over and over and over. And then 12 minutes into this call, she has the gall, the gumption to say, I may not proceed with this due to security purposes. I said, what do you mean security purposes? She said, I cannot verify, and I do not believe I'm speaking to the real Drake Toll. So, of course, in that moment, I said, I'll give you my mom's maiden name, the street I grew up on. How do you convince a person on the phone that you're a real human being and not fraud, a scam? Because I feel like the more information I would tell her, the more she'd be like, nah, this guy's definitely a fraud.
You got to bring back that country accent.
I didn't want to know
You try to hide it. You got to bring it back.
Sure. I didn't want to know too much, It's like I didn't need to know too much about myself. Otherwise, it'd be even more suspicious. What is just the right thing I could say to prove that I existed? So I'm on hold for 30 minutes. I ruined an hour of my day yesterday with this phone call, and then things got exponentially worse. So these are our biggest losers today on the Drake Toll Show, this credit union. Because the lady comes back and says, hey, do you by chance, work in media or anything like that? It's like, yeah. What? Yes, TV, radio, it's what I do for a living. I'm Savannah Bananas, Westwood One. Have you ever heard of any of those things? Like, I almost Kurt Signetti'd it and was like, Google me. Just Google me. And you Google me. Figure out that I'm real on the phone right now. And she says, oh, I can get you in that account. Just give me a second. Gets me in, everything. We're going to hang up. I'm ready to hang up. She goes, oh, by the way, would you like to explain why we had a security issue? Whatever. Sure. She said, we couldn't verify it was you. We believed you to be a robot. Typically, we cannot proceed if we don't believe the voice matches the age. And we felt as though your voice was suspicious. But it makes sense that you work in media. Word to the wise.
Say, bring back the accent. Bring
Word
it back.
to the wise, man.
Come on now.
If your voice is too good, too practiced, too clear, you can't log into your Federal Credit Union app and get your account. The real bad news, the real biggest losers. You know how much money I paid to change my registration for the car I bought in South Carolina to Chatham County, Georgia? $1,280.
How much?
$1,280. She, I'm like, hey, can I get my registration moved over? She's like, yeah, of course. Not menacingly. She's so sweet. The lady was so nice. Get to the end of the transaction. She goes, okay, sir, that'll be $1,280. For what? My registration? My little plastic license plate you just handed me? With a peach on it? Shout out, Georgia. Come to find out, though, I only have to pay $20 a year to renew it. This is just adult things. I'm just learning a lot of adult things now. $25 a year.
I don't think I paid that much when I got my car registered up here.
Probably not. But the way they justify it is by only charging you $20 a year to renew. And some states are like $300, $350 every year to renew it. So, I'll take it. Whatever.
Crazy.
Those are the biggest losers of my day yesterday. The real biggest losers. Yeah. NFL, per Adam Schefter, officially appointed influential storyteller Dar Man as first ever Chief Kindness Officer. And creator of the week for Super Bowl 60. We've gone too far. We've taken it too far. I love inclusivity. I want to make you feel comfortable. And you know what? You know what freedom is to me? It's the freedom for you to do what you want to do. It's America, man. Like, we're giving you the land of opportunity. Do as you, this is, your life. Autonomy. Create. Be creative. But this sucks. Starman, the chief kindness officer, creator of the week for Super Bowl 60. Do we have to have chief kindness officers? I liked what we did with the end zones, with the end racism thing, which racism all-time low now, thanks to the end zone. I liked the spread love on the back of the helmets. We're spreading it all over the place. Spreading
Touch
our
yourself.
love far and wide. Spreading our love wherever you want it. We're all spreading love. But chief kindness officer, and that's not even the worst part. It's not even the reason the NFL is the biggest loser of the day. Per Wikipedia, sure, I'll source them. The NFL's new chief kindness officer was charged with 13 felony counts of fraud and took a plea deal to avoid prison time. I'm watching season 3 of White Lotus right now, and I'm learning that fraud and embezzlement is bad. Not something we should do. Addie, am I just a mean-spirited person here, or is a chief kindness officer pretty stupid? Thanks. I feel like you're saying things, but not really sure if you're... Maybe.
No, it's just, I don't know. If you needed somebody to tell you to be kind, then you're probably not a kind person. That's how I feel. Like, when I was in college, there was a course that could teach you, like, empathy. And I was like, if you are 18 years old and you don't know how to be empathetic, like, you're probably not a good person. You just don't have it. And that's just how I feel about a kindness officer.
You know, Sam in Aurora, Illinois woke up today. I was like, I hate my life. I can't. This sucks. Everything sucks. The Bears lost. The Bulls lost. The Blackhawks are still a couple years away. Everything sucks. But then he saw the NFL appointed a chief kindness officer. He's like, you're right. You're right. I got to think about more than myself. I got to think about the kids. I got to think about kindness. I got to think about being a good
Running
person.
a Ponzi scheme.
And that's the reason this is going to pan out for the NFL. I have other biggest losers, the Denver Broncos, the Minnesota Vikings. But I'm going to move those to idiots of the day because they deserve a little bit more je ne sais quoi. Yeah, that's what they deserve. Biggest losers today, sponsored by Robinhood. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Maybe I'm just mad they didn't make me chief kindness officer. Maybe I'm mad that I wasn't in the running for that award. Maybe next time around. We have a loaded, and people say it all the time. Oh, big show today, loaded show today. But, boss, so many coaches have been hired, fired, wired, moved around in the National Football League, and the Super Bowl is coming up, and Bill Belichick's coming back to coach? Question mark? Maybe. Our obituaries are up next. Who died today, as well as the quickie, and we'll get to the Bills, and their brand new head coach, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, right here on the Drake Toll Show.
Bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. Serve your client notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene. An amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all.
Well, she was born in the morning, late October, San Antonio. Oh, she's every girl I've ever known. Well, she was born in the morning, late October, San Antonio. Oh, she's every girl I've ever known.
Here we go.
She don't talk about religion.
The Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. From the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. The Turnpike Troubadours. They'll be at Billy Bob's tonight. I'll be there. Come on, I'll be there. Cool me off. Calm down. Don't freak out. Nobody freak out. It is my favorite venue to see music in America. And I told you guys that I got that buddy who's getting married in College Station, Texas tomorrow. So I got my boots on, and I'll be boots on the ground in Dallas, Fort Worth tonight, and then driving tomorrow. I'm going to Turo a rental car, drive tomorrow to College Station, and do the wedding. But as for this evening, Nolene Hoffman and Turnpike Troubadours will get me through my life. The horrors will go away for a moment thanks to live music. My favorite thing in the world. Nothing like a concert. There's just nothing like a concert. So I'm doing it. And you know what? You know what feels good? Then on that same day, 7:01, 38 seconds right now on the East Coast. This same day, that's what I'll be doing tonight in a city across the country. The beauty of autonomy, of being able to be free. Say, you know what? I want to do that thing. I'm going to go make it happen. There's a lesson there. There's something there. People told me, they said, hey, what's going to happen is when you take that new radio job, you're not going to be able to, at the drop of a hat or on a whim, go do fun stuff anymore. Too many responsibilities. And that's the wrong way to look at it. That's the wrong way to look at life. So tonight, with you in mind, carrying you in my back pocket, I'm going to go have a good time. And I say you should too. Maybe at Billy Bob's, Texas. Seeing the Turnpike Troubadours. I sure won't stop you. You know what will stop you? Major heart failure. And it's time for today's obituaries. Yeah. Close. There we go. It's time for today's obituaries. Nice, Curtis Poindexter.
It's too early for this.
Little upbeat vibe for whoever died today. That was the cardiac arrest segue that I gave you there. The first people to die today, in the last 24 hours at least, we have to obituary them. I don't know. I still don't know if it's a verb, but I'm using it in that way. Joe Brady haters. They're dead. They're done. Barely have a leg to stand on after yesterday's press conference, the way that Josh Allen lovingly and longingly looked at his new head coach, Joe Brady. Here's what Sal Capaccio came on this show. The Buffalo Bills insider, Sal Capaccio, came on this show and said about the Joe Brady hire working out.
Okay, so I think that the reason why that people are confused more than anything is
90.
And I was surprised that Joe Brady was hired from this standpoint. When Terry Pegula says at the podium, the reason why he moved on from Sean McDermott was because they couldn't get over the proverbial playoff wall, which is fair. You feel that's a message that they're going to go outside the franchise for another voice, another direction. And then you hired somebody who's on the leadership staff as a coordinator of the same coach you fired for not getting over the proverbial playoff wall. So for a lot of Bills fans, it represents, wait a minute, why did you do that if you're just going to keep the same kind of person in place? So I think that's where confusion comes from. That said, I will tell you, though, it's just like I tweeted last week. At some point, the dust settles, you hire a coach, the business of football begins again. And you have number 17, Josh Allen. And you have a guy in charge now of the organization as the head coach who just led, the fourth-ranked offense in points scored, which previously was the second-ranked offense in points scored, fourth in yards per total yards, a very highly rated offense. And, oh, by the way, his quarterback was the league MVP his first year as the full-time offensive coordinator, and then he had the rushing leader his second year as full-time offensive coordinator. So there's a lot to like about Joe Brady. I just think Bills fans are confused and upset because it feels like the same, even though we were told it was a change, and they were told it was a change, and I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
Hey, just because this isn't a brand new name or one of those sexy offensive coordinator names that you've been hearing the last couple of weeks from guys you've never heard of 3 weeks ago, just because it isn't one of those guys. Oh, his last name's not Udinsky. Doesn't mean that Joe Brady can't work out. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have some faith in Joe Brady, given the way the offense bought into him. And the way he went on Pat McAfee yesterday. We can't play the clip due to the swear words, and the FCC is already on my ass right now. But he went on Pat McAfee yesterday and said, I can't wait for Josh Allen to throw an interception against my defense. I'm the head coach. I'm not the offensive head coach. I'm not the offensive-minded head coach. I am the head coach. I will call plays on that side of the ball. But I can't wait to fail based on how good our defense is because I'm the head coach. And then in that opening press conference clip that you heard, Buffalo, 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 just kept saying it over and over. Met my wife, married my wife, had my kids, raising my kids. Buffalo. So you know what? Joe Brady haters, you're dead today. You're being obituaried. Dong. You're gone. Also dead today, the Eagles' offensive coordinator search is over. War is over. Sean Mannion, the new OC, 33 years old, has coached for just a couple of years. 2 years, Green Bay Packers, 2024 and 2025. Promoted to quarterbacks coach in his second season with the organization. It was quickly apparent, Nick Sirianni said, in meetings with Sean, he's a bright young coach with a tremendous future ahead of him in this league. Impressed by his systematic views on offensive football, his strategic approach. Sean's years in the NFL have proven a great opportunity to learn and grow alongside some of the best coaches in the game. A wealth of knowledge and experience. The former Oregon State quarterback, 9 seasons in the NFL with the Rams who drafted him. 4 of those with the Rams who drafted him. Playing for guys like Sean McVay and Clint Kubiak? What? I've heard of that guy. He was an active player in 2023 with the Vikings and the Seahawks. And now Mannion is the offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. There's your Sinatra Fly Eagles flag. All right, whatever. Hired a guy with 2 years of coaching experience. At least he was a player, I guess. But, I mean, the coaching search is over. It can be obituaried. It's done. Dong. Our last obituary. The Todd Monken era of Cleveland Browns football. Dong. It's not really over, but isn't it over? Come on. Come on. It's the Cleveland Browns. I get it. You like Todd Monken. You're trying to buy in. You're trying to make this make sense in your brain, but come on. You really think it's going to work? I don't think I do. It's the Cleveland Browns, man. And you know what? I heard the Emmanuel Acho thing yesterday, the worst take of all time. Of why would Shador ever listen to Todd Monken? He hasn't been a head coach. That's stupid. And you can sit right now in Columbus, Ohio, and say it's even stupider or just as stupid for your reasoning to be it's the Cleveland Browns. But that's kind of a blanket statement, dog. Monken, I get it. He led Lamar to back-to-back MVP caliber seasons. Lamar should have been MVP in 2024. But in 2025, remember when the rumors came out that Ravens might have to move on from John Harbaugh because he won't fire Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Browns. I'm trying to prepare you that this is not going to work, I think. Shador Sanders might not be your franchise quarterback. And this is just not a good move. But you didn't really have a choice. And we'll see if Jim Schwartz ends up sticking around, because that would change the game a little bit. Mary Kay Cabot, Browns beat reporter for Cleveland.com, will join the show later and give us more on Schwartz, the Browns, and where the organization sits. In the meantime, those were our obituaries. It's time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines. I've got 60 seconds to respond to each. Addie Bates, producer of The Drake Toll Show. Good morning.
Good morning. Ooh, I love this first headline. So Alcaraz slugs out a win, by the way, earlier this morning in an over 5-hour semifinal match.
Yeah, I know exactly why you like that. Alcaraz, probably the best player in the world. I mean, he is number 1, so that's easy to say. It's either him or Jannik Sinner. And the reason you love it is you want his ass tired out so when Sinner plays him in the title match, Sinner can walk to victory. That's why you're excited, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yes.
What's your problem with Alcaraz,
yes.
man?
Jannik Bates, my goat.
You just don't think Alcaraz is as hot as Sinner? Is that the issue here?
I love Carlos. He is like a class act, and he is fun to watch. He is so fun to watch. He's just no Yannick center, you know?
Yeah.
My heart's with Yannick.
Yeah.
His
And I'm not
talent-
even trying to do like the douchebag male radio host thing of like, oh, make female producer like guy cuz hot. I'm not even doing that. You said in the break, wow, Yannick Sinner is so hot. So that's not even me playing like a game here. This is just you. These are your words.
No, I also love tennis. I
do
do also love tennis. I watch every single Grand Slam. I do. I love tennis. This one's a little difficult to watch because of the time zone, but thank God we have a morning show.
Yeah, we have a morning show. We're up for this one. I'm dialed in. You know, with age, and again, Daryl
He's
in
up for center.
Daryl in Somerset, Pennsylvania likes his coffee black, and he would never watch tennis on TV. The older I get, the more I really like hockey and tennis. The more I really like watching sports that
so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I didn't really follow as a kid in Arkansas. And tennis is one of those. It's electric to watch, electric to play. Djokovic is grabbing his heart. Owner of a lonely heart. That's headline number 1. Thank you.
I'm sure it's because he used to have this thing on his chest that would like radiate good energy.
Oh yeah, the chief kindness officer.
Yes, was on his chest. Yes, yes.
I'm just waiting for the next headline. That's how headlines work. I can't read them.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna tee him up. Okay, one for the ages. Flag nets 49. Knipple earns the win though.
That's what's tough here, man. You know, is I feel like Con Knipple could be Rookie of the Year, and 49 is great from Cooper Flag, but you know, it's at least a conversation we've got to ask national analysts about. Like, we really need to, as we go deeper in the season. I get the Super Bowl is coming up, and I get next week should be a lot of Super Bowl coverage, but we're going to have Mike Breen on, you know? We're going to have Ian Eagle on, only asking questions about the Final Four. We might even ask Kevin Harlan about Con Knipple and Cooper Flag in the Rookie of the Year race. I'm glad you brought that up in our headlines, because it's very important to me today. Next.
That's why I thought it should be the number 2. Here's number 3. Giannis rumors reveal that the Bucks stars desire to play with Anthony Edwards amid T-Wolves buzz.
Oh. I desire to compete with Livy Dunn. Do I get to will that into the ether? How does that work? If he's desiring to compete with people,
Compete with Livy Dunn.
can I give my short list of folks that I'd be happy to compete with? Yeah, I think Giannis and Ant together, personality-wise too, that creates a long-standing obstacle for anybody who wants to compete in the West. That creates a roster automatically with 2 of the best players in the world that will compete at the top of the NBA. And I do believe the middling Bucks are no longer the right spot for Giannis. And if Minnesota is the next spot, that rocks. Minnesota is one of those teams in the NBA, to me at least, that you can't. It's hard to root against. You're just like, yeah, the Wolves, baby, because they win until they stop. They don't dominate. They haven't built a dynasty. They just win until they can't get over the hump. It'd be kind of cool to see them get over the hump. I don't mind this.
This one's a little interesting. So Lindsey Vonn crashes, limps off in final test run a week before the Olympics.
Oh, that's not good. Milan, right?
Correct. Yes, that's not good. Here's your next headline.
Oh, sorry. I've got some friends that are on the
kidding.
U.S. ski team that are headed out there. That are out there right now, actually. She is not. I would be her friend. I'd be happy to be her friend. But not good for America. This is like George Washington goes down, 2 weeks before the Revolutionary War. And you're wondering who's going to lead the country. Who's going to be there who's going to win us that war? Who's going to row the boats? Who's going to carry the boats? Next man up mentality, right? Come on. USA. USA. A minute.
Patrick Kane became the highest scoring United States-born player in NHL history.
Did you give me a single football question here?
No, I was trying to keep you on your toes.
We're like
bud.
8 days away from the Super Bowl. And every single organization in the NFL has hired a new head coach. There are 32 new head coaches in the NFL.
And that's why we are hitting on it every single segment. I'm trying to keep you on your toes for a minute. If you think a minute's a long time, we got some issues here.
Patrick Kane of the New Jersey Devils. That Patrick Kane?
Yes.
I saw him play.
Not for the Devils, no. The Red Wings. Red Wings.
Oh, yes. Detroit Red Wings. I'm sorry. I saw him play last year live and in person against the St. Louis Blues. So I've seen him on his quest for this marker. I was rooting for you the whole way, Patty Kane. Congrats. He's not really well beloved amongst NHL fans, is he?
I would say he's beloved when he's on your team.
Yep, one of those guys. Yep, I get it. Nope, been there. Is that it? Are those the 5?
Yes, that was 5 non-football headlines.
Nice. All right, we can get back to the football stuff. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Commercial Insurance, progressivecommercial.com. On the way, Bills, Bills, Bills. Joe Brady will tell us why Sean McDermott and the Bills have been failing. And he'll even bring up Keon Coleman. This is great. This is Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, and the Drake Toll Show.
We're lost, aren't we?
Could be worse.
How could this be worse? This is worse.
Addy, true or false? Jared Minter was introduced as the head coach of the Ravens yesterday.
I don't know who Jared is.
Ah,
but I know who
you got
Jesse
it.
is.
You nailed it. Oh, my gosh. Yes, it's Jesse Minter, but I really wanted you to say true. Because nobody's talking about it. You know?
I live outside of Baltimore, you know?
Like, you would never, nobody's talking about it. Minter's that hire that you go from the guy everyone knows, literally everyone is aware of John Harbaugh's existence. Minter becomes the guy. Like, oh, okay, cool. And we just kind of moved on, as if Derrick Henry's not their running back.
Curtis, do you know who Jesse Minter is?
Yeah, the new head coach of the Ravens.
Nice, Curtis. Good. He's the same Jesse Minter from that viral video at Texas A&M where they say, get Minter up and moving. It's the same guy, just older. He's all grown up. Remember that where the frat bros hack into the university phone and they call the bullpen at Texas A&M? Come on. You haven't seen this?
If it's anything Texas A&M, I avoid it.
Wow, yeah. These three frat bros, they found the number, the extension for the bullpen phone at a Texas A&M game. And they pick it up, probably 10 of them in a room. They call the number, say, get Minter up and moving. You can't hear the other line. They're like, yeah, Minter, get him up and moving. Click. And then on SEC Network, here comes Minter to the bullpen. Unbelievable. Unreal. And now he's the head coach of the Ravens. Pretty awesome stuff.
Love to see it.
A rise to grace. Everybody wants to always talk about, the fall from grace. What about the rise to grace? Huh? Jesse Minter. And that's it. That's all I've slotted for this right now for Jesse Minter, because it's the Bills, Bills, Bills. As Addie Bates wrote in today's show, Bills, Bills, Bills. The Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Spring training, by the way, for the Bananas is underway as we speak. Today, we got a couple scrimmages that I'll be in. I'm going to go from the Drake Toll Show to packing my sweet little suit for a wedding this weekend to doing 2.5 hours of play-by-play for a banana ball scrimmage to an airplane to a concert to a wedding tomorrow. I do want an award, actually. Thanks for asking. It's just awesome to get to share all that with you, the world, and to share with you that Joe Brady has the keys to why the Bills have failed under Sean McDermott. Now, he gave Sean McDermott his flowers during his press conference yesterday, his introduction yesterday, and was very complimentary of the opportunity that McDermott gave Joe Brady. And I thought was sincere and genuine in thanking McDermott for what he did in Buffalo, but also gave this air of, hey, we're going to do things different in allowing players to be themselves and be loose. Everybody was kind of scared when McDermott walked the halls, and they all would clench up a little bit and like, oh, here comes Captain Sir McDermott, sir. Sir, yes, sir. And now players can be themselves, listen to their rap music, hang out with each other, and feel like, oh, we don't have to worry if Dad walks in the room. Here's what Joe Brady had to say on why he thinks the Bills have failed at winning in the biggest games the last forever.
Change when we talk about getting over the top offensively in those key moments.
Yeah, I'm just as responsible, right? That last football game, there was 5 turnovers. Those 5 turnovers are on me. Right? I'm understanding of that, and the accountability that I think for you guys that have been a part of the press conferences, like when our guys play well, it's because of them, and when they don't, it's because of me. And we address things obviously, in the meeting rooms, but the accountability, it is always going to start and end with me, especially in these settings. And so I take full responsibility for having the ball in the game on the line, and we didn't get it done. Right? And that's what I continue to strive every single. It's like, hey, we get that opportunity again. What am I going to do differently? And that's part of the growth. I think the biggest thing is as we continue to progress year in and year out, is we don't just sit there and just not evaluate our systems and not find ways to grow. Our offense, our defense, our special teams should never look the same year to year. It has to grow. It has to evolve. Players change. The game changes. And I think that that's the most important thing, or else we're going to continue to get the exact same results.
Joe, Brandon, Joe, congratulations. Sal Capaccio here. You have often talked, this is a question for both of you. Brandon, you've mentioned alignment. You've mentioned collaboration a lot.
Yeah, we threw in the Sal Capaccio right there because Sal is about to rejoin us. I'll give you my favorite soundbite from what Sal offered us on the Buffalo Bills. Joe Brady was asked a question in his press conference by Sal. Pretty cool. And Joe Brady, during that answer that you just heard, talked on evolution. We must evolve. We must grow. The game must grow. And he pins it on himself that Josh Allen was seeing ghosts and throwing the ball backward against the Denver Broncos. I don't know if that was Joe Brady's fault entirely. But he did the coach thing where he said, hey, when things go, it's that humble brag thing of when things go right, the players did it. When things go wrong, the coaches did it. And I wear that and take full responsibility. That's like the most coach thing you can say, the most coach thing you can do. And, you know, as he was checking the boxes of normal, coach speak jargon, such as that, he also checked the boxes he didn't have to by addressing the Keon Coleman situation. You'll remember that Brandon Beane, Terry Pagula came to the podium, and Pagula said that Beane never wanted Keon Coleman. That was the coaches who wanted Coleman. Yeah. But then we found out from Hard Knocks that it actually was Brandon Beane that wanted Keon Coleman. They got caught in the crossfires of a really controversial press conference last week where everybody was arguing over who screwed up and drafted the guy that sucks. So Joe Brady said, I told Keon when I got hired, the best thing that happened to Keon Coleman was me being his head coach. I was one of the ones that stood on the table for Keon Coleman, and I believe in Keon Coleman. And that's awesome, man. You probably need to hear that if you're Keon Coleman and everybody's calling you the bust that got your coach fired. Everybody believes you're the bust. That's the reason the Bills are falling apart right now. Joe Brady didn't have to do that. He did have to check the boxes and say, when it goes right, it's the players. When it goes wrong, it's on me. Yeah, it's the normal coach thing to say. But he didn't. Nobody asked him to go defend Keon Coleman, the weird domino that fell in the middle of all of this. Yet he did. But as rosy as that is, again, I told you he won the press conference. As rosy as that is, I need you to understand, even if you feel better today, even if you have butterflies today in Buffalo, in Rochester, in Saugerties, I need you to understand. I know Cowboys fans. I know Chargers fans. I know Rams fans. I know Vikings fans. I know Bears fans. I know Jags fans. I know Panthers fans. I know Miami Heat fans, San Antonio Spurs fans, Detroit Pistons fans. I know Red Sox fans, Yankees fans, Tigers fans that will tell you just because the coach won the press conference doesn't mean he's going to win, doesn't mean it's going to work out. Oh, and by the way, this is different than being hired by the Cleveland Browns. There are fan bases that know, that can tell you this is different than being hired by the Arizona Cardinals, an organization that does not expect to win right now. Joe Brady was born on third base. I give him 0 years to adjust. Yeah, maybe by his third year, he'll figure out the head coaching thing and the Bills will really get on a roll. Nope, don't have time. Don't have time. I give you 0 leeway with this. You have to win, and you have to win now. You've been in the organization. You told me you can be the head coach. The franchise itself pissed off its fan base, ticked off its fan base. I still don't know if I can say the P word. Ticked off its fan base by hiring you because they fired the head coach for the offensive coordinator, and that is weird. It shows they didn't really have a plan. So you know what? You're born on third base with Josh Allen. You're born into a contender. You don't have to go rebuild somewhere. You have to win, Joe Brady. You have to win. Here's what Sal Capaccio said on this show about Joe Brady in his must-win campaign.
The Bills have been one of, if not the most successful organizations outside of obviously getting to a Super Bowl. We had a lot of regular season wins, even playoff wins every single year. He's got a high standard. He comes in here, the pressure's on to get to the Super Bowl, quite frankly. Like, this is not a reset. This is not a retool, right? Like, you're hiring him with Josh Allen going into age 30, making $55 million a year, like the expectation is you're going to be better than you were. Otherwise, if you get to the same spot, it's going to be seen as a failure. I've said, to your point about McCarthy, for example, when they fired Sean McDermott, I said, look, you can only go one of two ways. Either A, somebody who has a Super Bowl ring, which would be Mike McCarthy, even though that wouldn't go over well with Bills fans. You hire somebody with a Super Bowl ring because if you're moving on from the guy who couldn't get you there, you can't bring in somebody who's been coaching who doesn't have one. It doesn't make sense. You got to say, wait a minute, we're bringing in a guy who knows what it takes to get us there. We haven't been over the hump. That's number one. And if you don't do that, then you got to go with a bright, young offensive mind who can, take the ship in a different direction. And that's what they did in Joe Brady. Because Bills fans were upset at watching, 3rd down and 10 tunnel screens, in a game, they get mad because it's Joe Brady. And I understand that angst, and I understand that frustration. At the end of the day, am I confident? I don't know. I've been doing that. You know this. I've been doing this long enough to know that sometimes I feel great about something, and it turns out terribly. And sometimes I feel terrible about something, and it turns out great. We just don't know. I mean, what's going to come down to is, who does Joe Brady surround himself with? You opened up with, offensive coordinator. It's not going to be as big of a job here because Joe's going to call plays here in Buffalo, right? Offensive coordinator. But I'll tell you what does matter. Yeah. Defensive coordinator, right? I mean, the Bills have had a defensive head coach for the last 9 years in Sean McDermott. And now you're going to have a new defensive coordinator, most likely. I don't think it's going to be Bobby Babbitt, who's on staff. We're already hearing rumblings of Jim Leonard in Denver, which is a big departure in philosophy of what Sean McDermott had. And, those are the things that are going to matter to Joe Brady in his tenure.
Sal Capaccio joined the show this week and nailed it. Nailed it. Now it matters who he hires. Now it matters what he does next. Now it matters where Joe Brady goes and where he goes immediately. Defensively especially. And maybe you hire Sean McDermott to run the defense. He knows Buffalo well. He's coached some pretty good defenses over there with Terrell Bernard. And now you're asking him to win with a Josh Allen you aren't sure is completely healthy. What? Allen expects to be ready for OTAs after foot surgery. We were told he was in no pain and doing well 10 days ago, 12 days ago. And then he was on crutches and in a boot walking around at the press conference. And I don't think the 29-year-old is going to be incapacitated or bothered into next season. But it's something to watch, no? The man just had surgery. Wants to be back. Quick recovery. OTAs. Won't hinder anything. But now Joe Brady's got to deal with that, as well as adjusting to being the head coach, adjusting to the defense, hiring a staff, being the offensive guy who goes and hires guys to be a part of his staff on the defensive side of the football. All of those decisions. Understand, if you hire the wrong defensive coordinator and you start to lose, that decision will cost you your job because you're supposed to win now with what you have in Buffalo. Speaking of injuries to quarterbacks, both of them, both teams in the Super Bowl have injured quarterbacks because it's 2026 and this is the NFL postseason that we live in. Here's what that could mean for Super Bowl 60. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app, and this is the Drake Toll Show.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah. Darkness, world stops turning. Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. And as God has struck the hour, day of judgment, God is calling. On the knees, the war pigs crawling, begging.
Good morning. Did you know? This is a good trivia question. It's a really good trivia question. Addie, can you tell me which banana ball player, that's right, the Savannah Bananas League, that's your category. Banana ball.
Banana ball.
Banana ball. Which banana ball player? He's a member of either the Indianapolis Clowns, Savannah Bananas, Party Animals, Firefighters, Texas Tailgaters, or Loco Beach Coconuts. Got the first hit in the 2026 spring training for the Banana Ball Championship League.
Jackie Bradley Jr.?
It's Jackie Bradley Jr.
No way!
Which is pretty crazy, man. It's pretty nuts.
I did it.
Like, I get it.
I did that.
There are people out there in the world who are like, ugh, I hate the banana ball thing. I don't get it. Ugh. That's what they say.
Literally like that.
But then you show up and you see it and you're like, oh, these guys are backflipping and catching the ball. That's actually really impressive. Because it is. It's fun to watch. Awesome that I get a front row seat to it. Excited to see those guys compete again today as a part of their spring training before the season kicks off in a couple of weeks at the home of Florida State football, Doak Campbell Stadium. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. You hate it till you see it. And you're like, oh, yeah, I get this. This is pretty cool. Because it is. Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you, play-by-play guy in the Bananas organization from Locked On Big 12 as well. And right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You're probably up early. It is 3:44 on the West Coast. You thought, you know what? I'm going to take Friday off work because I want to watch Novak Djokovic play Jannik Sinner in a tennis match in the wee hours of the morning. And it has not disappointed at all. Sinner up 2-1 on the Joker. In other news, football. Yeah, baby. Football. The Super Bowl's coming up. But, Addie, how many quarterbacks do you need, starting quarterbacks do you need to play when two teams are competing in the Super Bowl?
Starting quarterbacks, you usually need like one per team.
Correct. So that would be?
2.
Math. Thank you. Nailed it. What would it be like if we had 0 starting quarterbacks available for the Super Bowl?
Gut tells me that's not good.
Yep, bad. It would be bad.
I'm just going to go out on a whim here.
Now,
it'd be bad.
It seems as though we will get the matchup that America's been wanting for years, Sam Darnold and Drake May in the Super Bowl. We will be getting that.
Been saying that for a long time.
A little scaled back from what we may have expected. Just maybe not 100% of that matchup. Jeff Schwartz, the NFL veteran and now media mogul, joined the show this week to compare the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots. And a piece of concern could be with Darnold playing with an injury to his oblique or the shoulder injury for Drake May. And before we get to Jeff Schwartz and what he had to say about the Super Bowl matchup, Mike Vrabel sounded off about Drake May's shoulder and the injuries we could see in Super Bowl 60.
Not much. I try not to have a whole lot of concern. I just want to try to prepare the football team and make sure that everybody's ready and that we all have a plan and, not to surprise anybody and make sure that our guys are focusing on the first and second down plan. I know that's, we've tried to map out the week here or week and a half and not look at the end of it, but focus on what we can do today, try to learn our opponent and be ready for first and second down.
Drake May was listed as limited this week and was specifically limited Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, and then yesterday, Drake May and his fellow quarterbacks, the guys who would play if doomsday scenario May was not able to go, Drake May and fellow quarterbacks Josh Dobbs and Tommy DeVito, that's right, Tommy DeVito, the New England Patriot, didn't throw footballs in the portion of practice that was open to the media, which is different from any other Thursday practice this season. Ooh. Think about it. Every other Thursday practice this year, all the quarterbacks are throwing the footballs and letting the media see them. Obviously, there'd be a huge concern if Joshua Dobbs was throwing footballs and Tommy DeVito was throwing footballs and Drake May was not. So to dissuade your negative thoughts, to dissuade your worries, let's just have none of them throw footballs and then no one will be the wiser. But here's the problem. I'm Drake Toll, and I'm always watching. I see all. Addie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show, she sees all. Curtis Poindexter, who runs the board, sees some things sometimes. But we're more than
You see
aware.
ghosts.
He sees ghosts constantly. Him and Josh Allen, the same type of ghosts. They're both mediums, psychics. I see that this could be a non-issue, of course. But Drake May is dealing with a shoulder injury, and the team officially labeled him as limited, and that is not good. But Sam Darnold is going through the same. An oblique injury has fueled nervousness inside team headquarters. And yeah, it happened before that Seahawks game. You can shoot him up with all the meds you want. Numb that thing, baby. And Darnold hasn't flinched. But the more we go on, the more it's like, hey, that oblique thing is not going away. So two quarterbacks. Both dealing with injuries. And two quarterbacks that will start in the Super Bowl. Here's what Jeff Schwartz had to say about that Super Bowl and comparing these two teams when he joined the Drake Toll Show.
I think there is. And, when you just do a head-to-head matchup, right, as we're going to do the entire week heading into the Super Bowl, and you just say, like, where is right now?
It's like 2 minutes.
Definitely better than Seattle. You might argue, Drake May, I think, is, quote-unquote, better than Sam Darnold. He's not playing better than Sam Darnold, though, right? I mean, those are two separate things. The offensive line for Seattle is better. The wide receivers are better. The tight end is better for Seattle. Defensive-wise, I think it's hard to argue New England's better anywhere. I mean, maybe defensive tackle, right? I mean, it's not like the Seattle defensive tackle stink, but, New England has elite, two elite guys. But that's it right now. Coaching, right? You say Vrabel is a game manager and just his style of coaching is probably better, but it's not like Mike McDonald's terrible either, right? I mean, we're nitpicking here, trying to find advantages for New England. And that's where I think, Vrabel did a masterful job, I thought, on Sunday, really the second half of that game, just understanding the weather and how they were playing. We're not going to screw it up on offense. I thought it was a great job by him with the game plan. But I think Seattle's just better all over. I think they've been the better team all season. Now, maybe I didn't believe it because I didn't believe in Sam Darnold, but he's clearly proven a lot of us wrong. They've been the best team all season, and I don't know why that would change in the Super Bowl. It's a big step up, just in my mind, in competition from what New England has seen when it comes to the Chargers' offensive line and the way Herbert plays in the postseason, Houston's offense. Well, obviously, Jared Stidham, and this is a big step up for them. So I think it's a tough task for them. Can they win? Of course, it's Super Bowl, man. Like, anything can happen. But I think Seattle does have a lot of advantage in this game, and looking forward to see how it plays out.
Seattle with a serious leg up, no matter what. Well, I mean, not no matter what. It's still dependent on that Sam Darnold oblique. This Drake May shoulder. And Darnold shut a lot of people up. That was the quote from Mike McDonald speaking about his QB after their win this weekend against the Los Angeles Rams. And then he would go on to say that Darnold had barely practiced or thrown the ball all week while continuing to manage that injury. Adam Schefter reported that Darnold received pain-killing injections before both playoff games. And Schneider was going to say, I haven't seen a lot of quarterbacks throw a ball, then go out and play like that. We've been blessed to be around some pretty great ones. Seahawks listed Darnold as limited both days this week. So going into the Super Bowl, we get limited quarterback Sam Darnold and limited quarterback Drake May, neither of which threw a football in front of anybody on Thursday. Yes! Yes! I told you. I don't mind parity. I told you. I don't care Mahomes isn't there. The Eagles aren't there. The Niners aren't there. I don't care Stafford's not there. I don't care it's Drake May and Sam Darnold. But in a week where everyone's overlooking the Super Bowl, in a week where we only want to talk Bill Belichick Hall of Fame, Joe Brady Bills, Jesse Minter Ravens, whatever the Dolphins are doing, whatever the Cardinals are doing, whatever the Raiders are doing, Todd Monken Browns. In a week like that, where those are the storylines, where we're taking you to New York to press conferences, to Atlanta for press conferences, to Baltimore for introductions, to Buffalo for introductions. We are overshadowing the biggest game of the year, the biggest sports moment of the year, the Super Bowl, where the world will watch. And we're overshadowing it because, you know what? By and large, this year, less people care. I'm the guy who loved when the Texas Rangers, played the Diamondbacks in the World Series. I love that stuff. But it's hard to get everybody else to love it. It's hard to get everybody else to love the nitty-gritty without the big name they've known, the big names they're used to.
30.
It's weird. I get it. You're not wired that way. You're a good sports fan. But America, by and large, they say, oh, yeah, the Super Bowl, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. All right, some new blood. Oh, and both their quarterbacks are limited in practice and not throwing the ball. Oh, yeah. 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. Phone lines open. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Idiot of the Day is coming up. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This
Well, when I was young, my mama read me nursery rhymes beside my bed. And though they sounded mighty fine, they made no sense to me. Now that I am all grown up, it seems my nights have changed as such. So I went out and made me up a nursery rhyme for me. It goes bar light, bar bright, first bar that I see tonight. Wish I might find someone to hold me tight. Hey diddle diddle, the man with the fiddle and the girl sing along with the tunes. Just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon. You know, I never understood how a big old gal could raise no kids in a shoe. And any old jack goes jumping a candle needs to find something better to do. And a rub-a-dub-dub 3-minute tub sure sounds kind of funny to me. So I made up a honky-tonk nursery rhyme and it's the only one I'll sing. It goes bar light, bar bright, first bar that I see tonight. Wish I might find someone to hold me tight. Hey diddle diddle, the man with the fiddle and the girl sing along with the tunes. Just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon. I said I never understood how a big old gal could raise no kids in a shoe. And any old jack goes jumping a candle needs to find something better to do. And a rub-a-dub-dub 3-minute tub sure sounds kind of funny to me. So I made up a honky-tonk nursery rhyme and it's the only one I'll sing. It goes bar light, bar bright, first bar that I see tonight. Wish I might find someone to hold me tight. Hey diddle diddle, the man with the fiddle and the girl sing along with the tunes. Just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon. I said just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon.
coming your way. Minnesota invades San Francisco Bay. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. The Vikings and Niners get it on tonight.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines pumping and thumping in time. The green light flashes, the flags go up. Churning and burning, they yearn for the cup. They deftly maneuver and muscle for rank. Fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they pour through the turns. Their prowess is potent and secretly stern. As they speed through the finish, the flags go down. The fans get up and they get out of town. The arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun has gone down and the moon has come
Here we go.
up. And long ago somebody left with the cup, but he's driving.
The Drake Toll Show. He's going for what? Yeah. Just feels right, man. I love cake. I'm a cake guy. Certainly a cake guy. In a world where there are two choices, I'm always going to choose cake. I'm in. Period. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. That's me. The guy who hosts the show. And you know what? Thanks. Thanks for being here. You and me and you. Living La Vida Loca. Upside, inside out, whatever the lyrics are. Living La Vida Loca.
Skin's the color mocha.
Yeah. Who sings that one? Come on. Come on.
Ricky Martin.
Yeah, he does. Ricky Martin, man. Yeah,
what boy band was he in?
Oh, Hanson.
Music.
Ricky Martin Hanson.
Menudo.
What?
Menudo.
I don't even know what that means. That's not English.
Yes.
It's not English.
Correct. It is not.
Thank you. So I get a half point for that. I didn't know Ricky Martin was in a boy band. This is knowledge, new knowledge that I now possess. Thank you. Menudo. All right. It's been the Drake Toll Show all week. Next week, half the company is at the Super Bowl. Like, we're sending everybody out at the Super Bowl. Addie, you and myself, we will not be there. And for good reason. Somebody has to hold down the fort. And 30,000-foot view manage this whole thing. Because we would have been inside of a ballroom in San Francisco on Radio Row at 3 in the morning. No, 2 in the morning. Getting ready for a show from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Which, hey, people on the West Coast are listening to this show from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. But that would have been a lot. That would have been a lonely road that we walked next week. And instead...
But they've decided to leave it to a 24-year-old and a 25-year-old.
Yes, we get
the station's in our hands.
We have control of the company next week while everybody is out in San Francisco. And honestly, you know what? As fun as Radio Row is, as fun as those opportunities are, it's good to have control of the company for a little bit. It's good to have the reins for a second. Keep everybody in line. We were told yesterday during a staff meeting, man, I don't even care. I'll pull the curtain back. We're told 60 plus high-profile A-list guests will be on this network next week. And we'll have access to all of them. That's our job, is to kind of facilitate those, shuffle through those, really figure out who do you trust? Who are we getting on here? So we'll be here with you. We'll preview the Super Bowl. And while there will be a lot of pomp and circumstance, guest after guest, from a lot of the shows that we host here at Westwood One Sports, the BetMGM guys, you're going to get an in-your-face, elite, top-level coverage of the Super Bowl. But every morning, just know, I'll be here. Addie will be here. Or New Orleans. I think she's going to Mardi Gras. Never mind. Addie will be gone. And Curtis will be here. And we'll give you this still fast-paced, still entertaining, still happy, still up-tempo perspective of the Super Bowl. But one that we can digest together. Addie, aren't you getting drunk at Mardi Gras next week?
Not next week, but the week after. Yes, many people are saying that Addie Bates will be a bit inebriated as she's on a float throwing stuff to people.
Yeah, that rocks. I've done the Mardi Gras stuff. PG-13, baby. PG-13. That is a...
The amount of Jell-O shots that will be consumed, I mean, they haven't seen that in years.
You need to take, shots from the front and the back, whatever it is.
Did you see where they've sold more king cakes this year than any year in history already?
Oh,
yep.
I forgot to order mine, so yes, I'm a little mad about that.
We're at the peak. We're at the peak in world history of Mardi Gras, and it's on its way, and Addie Bates will be there. And we'll be covering the Super Bowl all week, every day next week, the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. But for now, it's time for our Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
The honey badger spoke this week on almost dying trying to pass a drug test. He is our first idiot of the day. We have that audio. If it's FCC appropriate, Curtis, please do play that.
Did you ever have anybody go pee for you before, bro? Because you know people do it all the time.
Man, listen to me, bro. I done tried everything in the books. I've used other people's urine. They got the fake, I remember one time, I'll tell you a funny story. It's not funny. I could have died, but like a couple tests before I realized it was going to kick me out of school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in a circle, and I'm on Google trying to figure out, man, how do I pass this test?
Right.
Like, these folk keep threatening me,
Right.
Right. And I'm just scrolling. And I come across them that say, man, just put some bleach in the top, in the top, the top,
Mm-hmm.
put the bleach,
Mm-hmm.
put a little bleach in the top,
Mm-hmm.
and put it in your Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that. And I'm like, yo, what the like, it felt like my whole insides was just like erupting. You know what I'm saying? I ended up throwing that shit up. And I was, at that point, I'm like, man, I done ran out of tricks.
Right.
I don't know what to do. And yeah, bro, I remember sitting in front of that building, man, with a fucking a cap full of bleach in a Coke bottle. And I thought that was gonna save my life. It didn't. It backfired.
Wow. Sometimes idiot of the day isn't actually an idiot. They're just somebody who did something stupid. I think this is a situation where we may have the actual idiot side on our hands. Well, we may be talking about a guy who just... more than a couple screws are loose up there for Tyrann Mathieu, the honey badger, who, you heard it, folks, drank bleach, consumed bleach in his Coke, not cane, but Coca-Cola, in order to pass a drug test because he had failed a few. And you also heard that he had used other people's pee. Can I say that? Urine. Whatever the FCC allows me to say. Bodily functions are not usually allowed. He'd used other people's urine to pass these drug tests. And then when he was at the end of his rope on figuring out ways to skirt the system, decided, all right, I'm going to drink bleach because Google told me so. That's like one of those Reddit posts that's built for you to do so that it's a natural selection Reddit post. It's Reddit trying to save the world from people that will willingly drink bleach to pass a drug test. And Tyrann Mathieu was that guy. By the way, folks, if I can give you a piece of advice here from the 25-year-old who hosts the radio show that's bringing you the radio. If ever in your life you have drank bleach to pass a drug test, or I don't know, taken motor oil and chugged it because you thought, that'll clear my system. You don't have to tell that story publicly or make it something that everyone else in the world now knows. And if you do, there's a great chance you end up on the Drake Toll Show as Idiot of the Day. People just be doing stuff, man. Like when I was in college, I get it. There's a time where Jeremy Vosberg and Sam Watson were inebriated themselves, and they wanted to swim across the Brazos River to the Baylor track stadium and steal stuff. So they took, I think, 2 track, not stanchions. Hurdles. They took 2 track hurdles. And then the police showed up. So they jumped back into the Brazos River and swam across the river with the hurdles around their shoulders, trying not to drown. They made it safely to the other side and ran home with the track hurdles that sat in our living room for months and are probably still in that house today with new members of the ATO fraternity. That's awesome. That's a fun story. Drinking bleach to avoid the weed that you smoked, being detected by the organization you play for, less fun story. Less fun story. Idiot of the day number 2. Bill Sparks tweets. It's at Sparks Scouting. This is why the Monken hire is a critical failure. And the idiot of the day would be the Browns in this, not Bill Sparks. You passed on Nate because Schwartz didn't want to play ball as DC, instead wanting the head coach job. Haslam wants to keep Schwartz in the building because of the respect for him, but your GM doesn't want him as the head coach, so now you compromise. Monken gets hired. Schwartz still refused to play ball and is now taking his ball and going home. So now you don't get the head coach candidate recommended to you, and the one thing you wanted to prevent, Schwartz leaving, the one thing you knew you couldn't prevent, still happened. Dysfunction at its finest in Cleveland, folks. If Schwartz was the guy, if he was the most important piece to keep here, Tom Pelissero tweeted earlier this week, after the Browns informed Schwartz that they were moving on and hiring Todd Monken, he was upset and said his goodbyes around the building, told other coaches he's not coming back. And that was the one person you told me you could not afford to lose in this. The one casualty you could not have in this was Jim Schwartz. And now you lost him. The Browns do, man. That's what the Browns do. Other idiots of the day. People who believe Stephon Diggs deserves a Super Bowl ring. The tweet is, no one deserves a Super Bowl ring more than Stephon Diggs. He battled so much. What are we talking about here? The dude who's actively in a dispute, going to court over an alleged abusive relationship with his live-in, whatever that chef. The guy who had, was it 4 kids this year? With 4 kids this year? Addie, check me on that.
Yes, 4 kids.
4 kids.
With 4 different women.
4 different women. 4 baby mamas. Sweet. That's the guy, everybody. Deserves a Super Bowl. He's at the top of the line for me on players that deserve one that haven't won one yet. Idiot of the day, Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. Yeah. Bit of an embarrassing week for Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton. This is from NFL Frashella, John Frashella. After losing to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, he's acting like a childish, sore loser. Fired his offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, for no reason. Sean calls the plays, not Joe. Lombardi said, you could tell he was in one of those moods where he felt like some changes needed to be made, and I guess he decided one of those was me. I've been around him long enough to kind of read the tea leaves. Oh, is it because of Davis Webb, who is the young hotshot, and you want to make him the offensive coordinator? He's not going to call plays, but you don't want to lose him to somebody else. You don't want to lose him to a rival. You don't want him to leave the organization. Young hotshot, sure. Offensive genius, I don't know. But if Sean Payton is calling the plays, what are you going to fire Joe Lombardi for? The guy who's been with you for like 15 years of your career. From New Orleans to now Denver. You're going to can Joe Lombardi to keep the young guy and hope it works out? You're going to fire Sean McDermott to hope that the offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, works out? You're going to fire Kyle Whittingham and hope that the defensive coordinator, coach in waiting, works out? Yeah, sure. We'll see if that works. Sean Payton, that's not how you treat your friend who didn't do anything wrong. And then, even worse, even weirder, even stranger at least, Sean Payton was unnecessarily talking about Bo Nix's medical history with the media. To which Bo, who typically doesn't stick his neck out, and that is true, good point from Frashella, said, Sean shouldn't have said how many surgeries I've had, because he doesn't even know what the hell was going on in Denver Payton is causing the wheels to fall off quickly. What could have been a very uneventful offseason in Denver has now become storyline after storyline that just aren't very good and don't make a ton of sense for longevity and success. But whatever, Sean Payton. You win. You're the big guy who knows all the things. Is that it? Is that my last slap and tickle for the day? No more stomp and holler? Come on, hit me with it again. Give me one more.
No more slap and tickles for you.
Give me one more.
Oh.
Yeah! Bong! We've got to find different music. We've got to find different music. On the other side, Cleveland Browns expert Mary Kay Cabot at Mary Kay Cabot will join the Drake Toll Show, and Pro Football Hall of Fame selector. Maybe a nugget or two about Bill Belichick and where we go from here. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Take me to another place. It's like I got a fever.
Keep pounding a rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-da-da-da.
It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. And right here, right now, God bless, man. What a time to be sentient. Do you feel it? Like in the middle of the Super Bowl, the New England Patriots, the Seattle Seahawks, the topics are abound across the National Football League, whether it's the Bill Belichick news, whether it's the Todd Monken news, or Joe Brady's introductory press conference in Buffalo. There is just stuff going on everywhere. To our affiliates in Rochester, our affiliates in Tucson, the amount of sports we have at our fingertips right now is incredible. The offseason has just begun. It hasn't even begun. There's a whole game left, the biggest game left. But the storylines are abound. And there have been so many great guests to help break us down this week. But Mary Kay Cabot is the crescendo of them all, at Mary Kay Cabot on social media. Browns beat reporter for Cleveland.com, Hall of Fame selector. Mary Kay, let's go there immediately. Cleveland, can you give me the pulse of the people? How does the fan base feel now 32-ish hours removed from finding out they have a new head coach?
Well, I think there are a lot of mixed emotions, but I really do believe that once these fans start to really realize what Todd Monken is all about and look at his credentials and get to know him again a little bit more, because he was here in 2019. Once they hear him speak, once they hear what he's all about, once they get a little bit reminded of what he has done in his career, I think they're going to be really, really excited about Todd Monken. I think he's a perfect fit for this team. I think he's a perfect fit for this town. And if you had just put maybe the age of, 39 next to his name instead of 59, maybe people would have liked that a little bit better or something. Or if he had 7 other interviews, maybe people would have thought, oh, wow, we're really getting something special here. But Todd is so qualified for this job in so many ways, and I think Browns fans are going to absolutely love him.
Mary Kay, I know a lot of people within the organization and fans, reporters, so many questions about Jim Schwartz and what he does. There was the original report that he had said his heartfelt goodbyes and was emotional when he found out he would not be the head coach in Cleveland and that his time there may be up. Is that the case, or is there still a chance Schwartz sticks around with Monken?
Well, it's not over yet until we hear that he's taking another job somewhere else, or we hear from him that he's 100% gone. I don't think you can say unequivocally that it's completely over yet. So we'll have to see how things go. Todd Monken is arriving in town now. He's going to have his press conference next Tuesday. And over the next few days, we'll hear more about how this staff is shaping up. But, if I were those two guys, I would at least try to sit down, put their heads together, and see if there's a path forward.
Mary Kay Cabot joining the Drake Toll Show here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Mary Kay, I want to take you back a bit to Kevin Stefanski, because 3 years ago, it felt like Cleveland had the answer. It felt like Cleveland had the guy. What is the difference in what you'll get from Todd Monken versus a Kevin Stefanski whose time in Cleveland fizzled out, certainly at the end?
Well, the whole key to all of this, and the key for any NFL head coach, is the quarterback. And that's what it's all about. If Todd Monken has a good, quality, winning quarterback, somebody that he can coach the heck out of and win with, then he'll win. And it was the same thing with Kevin Stefanski, and they were just kind of getting started with Shedeur Sanders. Who knows what that may have led to? And it will be the same for Kevin in Atlanta. If he's got a good quarterback in Michael Penix and they can work with him and they can develop him, then he will be a winning head coach. If he doesn't have that, then he's not going to be. So it's all about that. And, it doesn't just have to be that. You have to be able to then coach them up and scheme it up and all of those things. But any NFL head coach without a good quarterback, you better either have the number one defense in the NFL or you're not winning.
Mary Kay, I think we've seen in examples like a Geno Smith, who began his NFL career lackluster and ultimately became a name that was leading teams to the playoffs, or an organization like the Seahawks to the playoffs under Pete Carroll, or Sam Darnold, who's the best example of it right now, whose career the first 3, 4, 5 years wasn't much to write home about, and now at the age of 28, he's the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl and the winningest quarterback in the league the last 2 years. There are good quarterbacks that walk the earth who are in bad situations or do not have the coaching or development early in their football careers in the National Football League. Where do we put Shedeur Sanders? Does he just need the right coach? Does he have that in him? Or is Shedeur far from the answer right now in Cleveland?
He might have that in him. I thought he showed a lot of traits that told me that he can get the job done as a quality starter in the NFL. And you have to see that over a period of time, because even young quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud, they get off to a great start.
Yeah.
And then, then you have to keep working it and make sure that they're pivoting and transitioning as they go along. But I saw plenty of traits in Shedeur Sanders that lead me to believe that he's got something special about him. And I think that the Browns will try to see if they can bring that out in him and develop it and see what he can be. And if you can turn a 5th-round pick into a quality starting quarterback and get somewhere with him and really have success, that's going to be meaningful for this football team. They would be able to overcome, in some ways, the Deshaun Watson trade and the Deshaun Watson contract. And so I think they will try to do whatever they can to see what they have in Shedeur.
Mary Kay, I love what you wrote, and in doing some, I'll peel back the curtain a bit for the folks at home. Like for every time we have an insider on, somebody who's boots on the ground, whether it's Cleveland to Buffalo to L.A., I'm always looking at where's the best way to take it based on the pulse of the fan base and what they're talking about in Cleveland. And I loved what you wrote about Kirby Smart, John Harbaugh, Jameis Winston, the list of names who have given their seal of approval for Todd Monken as an offensive guru, as the head coach of the Browns. How much should fans buy into those words from those names?
Well, I think a lot. Those guys, John Harbaugh staked his job on Todd Monken when he was leaving the Ravens. He refused to part ways with Todd, and I think from everything I understand that had something to do with why he's still not there. And he waited and waited and waited for 24 days for Todd Monken to come to the New York Giants with him instead of filling that position. That's how important Todd Monken was to him. And all you have to do is look at how Lamar Jackson elevated his game, earned his 2nd NFL MVP award with Todd Monken as in his first year there as the play caller. Pretty much everywhere he's gone, he's elevated that offense. And I think that's the thing that I think that fans are going to be excited about when they realize, look, this guy knows what he's doing, and the number one thing the Cleveland Browns need is to transform their sluggish and dormant offense. So that is what they needed. And yes, I do think the words of people like Kirby Smart. I mean, they won back-to-back national championships together with Todd Monken calling the plays in those years at Georgia. So you have to be doing something right for those things to happen. Just because it's not necessarily a sexy pick doesn't mean it's not the right pick. And just because other teams were not clamoring for him doesn't mean that he doesn't have a ton of value. I think he does. I think he's got something to prove. I think, when you look at his credentials stacked up against, let's say, a Grant Udinsky or a Nate Fieldhouse, who were sort of the, it picks for maybe Cleveland fans. Those guys have never called a play in the NFL.
Yeah.
They've never been a coordinator in the NFL. So why is everyone so sure that they would be so much better than someone who has not only led top 10 offenses all over the place, but knows how to handle difficult personalities, knows how to lead a room, knows how to lead a staff. I mean, there are so many things that you have to do as a head coach, and I'm sure those young guys are going to be amazing when they get their opportunities. But a little seasoning for them probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world before they get it.
Man, I said it. I'll peel a curtain back today. It's a Friday. We do, Mary Kay, our top 3 moments of the week from our guests, and we had them already baked in. They're ready to go for the end of the show today. But you've worked your way to number 1 with the mention of a guy like Shieldhouse or Udinski not calling plays in the National Football League, but Browns fans being scorned by a move for a guy who's called plays at an elite level. That is expert analysis at Mary Kay Cabot on socials. Browns beat reporter from Cleveland.com joining us. So grateful for your time. Before we get you out of here, a couple more that I have. One of the questions that I've posed a couple of times from Buffalo to Atlanta to now Cleveland has to do with the defensive coordinator of the USC Trojans, Gary Patterson, who just got hired. And Mary Kay, what he did is he went and hired an assistant DB's coach, Gary Brown, right? And when USC posted that graphic, all these USC fans who have never heard of Gary Brown in their lives are in the comments saying, love the hire, great hire, can't wait to see him work. A lot of times fans are disconnected from how these staffs are built, from how the assistants are pieced together. What is a litmus test? What is a metric for fans to understand the mark of success for Todd Monken as he's putting the staff together?
Well, I think once he gets in front of that microphone and starts to speak and we ask him all of the questions and he's able to discuss his credentials and the things that he's done. I mean, people don't really study up on what he's accomplished in his career. But once again, he has been the architect and, the leader of pretty much top 10 offenses wherever he's gone. And with the Ravens, he led the number 1 offense in total yards overall. Remember, Lamar Jackson in his second year with him threw 41 touchdown passes against only 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's remarkable. He had the highest rating in the NFL that year. And it's been like that in many instances with him. In Tampa Bay, in their last year, 2018 in his last year there, he led the number 1 passing offense in the NFL, and he was calling plays that year. And they were number 3 overall. So this is the kind of thing that you're going to get from Todd Monken, and it's the exact thing that this Cleveland Browns offense needs.
Mary Kay Cabot joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Before we do let you go, this whole Bill Belichick conversation and yourself as a Hall of Fame selector, I heard from a source yesterday a lot of chatter about how the expectation is Bill Belichick will return to the National Football League, possibly in a coaching role, and maybe that had a say or a sway in why he won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Can you give me, anybody out there can say, oh, Bill Belichick should be a first ballot. Can you give me the pushback? Can you give me a reason why Belichick won't find his name on that list in his first opportunity?
No, I mean, I think he'll get in next year for sure. I think he should have gotten in this year, and it's unfortunate that he didn't.
Yeah.
And I think it had something to do with the way that the voting is set up right now. And when you lump together 3 senior players with a coach and a contributor, it's just, it can be awkward when you have to try to vote that way. And, a couple of people have stepped up and explained why they didn't vote for him, including Vahe Gregorian from the Kansas City Star, who's been doing this for 40 years. He felt that those players who may never have another chance to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he thought they deserved their day or they were done. So, people had their reasons. It doesn't mean that those people are idiots. It doesn't mean that those people are any other names that they have been called. It means that they thoughtfully voted the way they felt they needed to. Yeah. And he will get in next year, but I think it had a lot to do with just the way it's set up, and it does need change. And I'm sure it will change, but it will be too late for him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, obviously.
Yeah, incredible perspective. That's the adult in the room answer. When a lot of people are not looking for the adult in the room, they're looking for someone to point fingers at and point to and build the scapegoat around. Mary Kay Cabot, at Mary Kay Cabot on socials, from Cleveland.com on the Drake Toll Show. Mary Kay, thank you so much for your time today and giving us that kind of inside perspective on the Cleveland coaching search, Bill Belichick, and the like.
Sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Again, at Mary Kay Cabot. Awesome stuff, man. I love that answer about the guys who've never called plays in the National Football League or been a coordinator in the NFL, and all of these Browns fans wanted them to be the next head coach of the franchise. And then when it's Todd Monken, who's been around, and I'm not going to hide it on this show, this very show, I told you that I'm not a massive believer in Todd Monken being the next head coach there. I'm just not a massive believer in the franchise right now, and that's why I'm pushing back so hard on Todd Monken. That's why I don't know if it's going to work. Because of the Jim Schwartz deal and how he's scorned now, and players are upset with this. At least in Buffalo, the players are happy. At least there's some sort of kumbaya vibe in the locker room that gives you a launching point. I'm just not sure what Todd Monken's launching point is. But to Mary Kay's credit, nailed it. At least he's called plays. At least he's had MVP caliber seasons for his quarterbacks. At least he's got a resume with national championships in college and then moves to the NFL and doesn't miss a beat. We'll see if it works. Won't have to wait too long to find out. Coming up, our moments of the week on the Drake Toll Show. Let's go back to Joe Brady. Was that the right move? Did he win the press conference? Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Super Bowl 60.
Ba-dee-da, bom, ba-dee-da, bom, ba-dee-da, bom, ba-dee-da, bom, ba-dee-da, bom, ba-dee-da, bom, ba-dee-da, until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling on till then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather. 2, 3, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling on till then. Some trails are happy ones, other trails are blue. It's the way you ride that counts. Here's a happy one for you. Happy trails to you till we meet
10.
I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
Good morning. Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Makes sense, right? Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. I got to go in like an hour. The Party Animals are playing the Firefighters in the Banana Ball Championship League, spring training. We got some play-by-play to do, man. We got a live broadcast to do. Sports. Heck yeah. I hate the Savannah Bananas. I can't even terrible. It make me so mad. I eat for kids. Hey, man. It's not like that. It's fun. People come together. They have a good time. Guys do backflips. Jackie Bradley Jr. gets hits. You see some of the most impressive stuff you could ever draw up in sports. And it happens in Banana Bowl. And it's kind of cool, man. Also, Yannick Sinner, Novak Djokovic, crazy stuff. Playing some crazy stuff right now. What a match they have going on in the Australian Open. They're all knotted up in the fifth set. Love it. And elsewhere. The Buffalo Bills introduced Joe Brady as their head coach. Press conference yesterday. And he won the press conference. He's a likable guy. All the kids like him. Josh Allen smiling. We're big fans of Joe Brady. But while you feel a little more tender, feel a little more loose today about the decision. Oh, how sweet. He loves Buffalo. I don't want you to forget about William McGonagall, 1800s poet from Scotland. You're saying, what? Why? Because he was a nice guy, but he was really, really terrible at his job. It wasn't good. He had the most jarring, clunky, hilarious, bad phrasing that poetry could ever draw up. A disaster class. A master class in how not to write poetry. He would go from 4 syllables in one line and 24 in the next one, just cramming words in there. He refused to use any rhyme that wasn't just basic, predictable. If he said the word city, he'd rhyme it with pity or pretty, and you'd say, I saw that coming. McGonagall. My favorite piece of poetry of his that I remember from college, it's called The Tay Bridge Disaster. Beautiful railway bridge of the silvery Tay. Alas, I am very sorry to say that 90 lives were taken away. Oh. It went from beautiful silvery bridge to everyone's dead. Alas, I'm very sorry to say that 90 lives were taken away on the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time. What? That's just bad poetry, dog. Beautiful silvery, dead. 1879, very long time. What? And he even ended the poem. Not with a reflection of grief, but just blaming the architect. Saying, for the stronger we our houses do build, the less chance we have of being killed. Yeah, he's kind of hit the nail on the head there. He's got it locked down. Nice guy. Everyone loved him. Hometown hero. They called him Sir William McGonagall, Knight of the White Elephant. He just wasn't good at his job. Just because you like Joe Brady, just because he won the press conference, doesn't make him good at his job. Time for our top 3 moments of the week this week on the Drake Toll Show. The first, Sal Capaccio came on this program and said it is a must-win year. A must-win year for that same Joe Brady.
The Bills have been one of, if not the most successful organizations outside
2 minutes
to a Super Bowl. We have a lot of regular season wins, even playoff wins every single year. He's got a high standard. He comes in here, the pressure's on to get to the Super Bowl, quite frankly. Like, this is not a reset. This is not a retool, right? Like, you're hiring him with Josh Allen going into age 30, making $55 million a year. Like, the expectation is you're going to be better than you were. Otherwise, if you get to the same spot, it's going to be seen as a failure. I've said, to your point about McCarthy, for example, when they fired Sean McDermott, I said, look, you can only go one of two ways. Either A, somebody who has a Super Bowl ring, which would be Mike McCarthy, even though that wouldn't go over well with Bills fans. You hire somebody with a Super Bowl ring because if you're moving on from the guy who couldn't get you there, you can't bring in somebody who's been coaching who doesn't have one. It doesn't make sense. You got to say, wait a minute, we're bringing in a guy who knows what it takes to get us there. We haven't been over the hump. That's number one. And if you don't do that, then you got to go with a bright, young offensive mind who can, take the ship in a different direction. And that's what they did in Joe Brady. Because Bills fans were upset at watching, 3rd down and 10 tunnel screens, in a game, they get mad because it's Joe Brady. And I understand that angst and I understand that frustration. At the end of the day, am I confident? I don't know. I've been doing that. You know this. I've been doing this long enough to know that sometimes I feel great about something and it turns out terribly. And sometimes I feel terrible about something and it turns out great. We just don't know. I mean, what's going to come down to is, who does Joe Brady surround himself with? You opened up with, offensive coordinator. It's not going to be as big of a job here because Joe's going to call plays here in Buffalo, right? Offensive coordinator. But I'll tell you what does matter. Yeah. Defensive coordinator, right? I mean, the Bills have had a defensive head coach for the last 9 years in Sean McDermott. And now you're going to have a new defensive coordinator, most likely. I don't think it's going to be Bobby Babbitt, who's on staff. We're already hearing rumblings of Jim Leonard in Denver, which is a big departure in philosophy of what Sean McDermott had. And, those are the things that are going to matter to Joe Brady in his tenure.
Love that from Sal Capaccio. Must win and must win now. And Sal makes 2 appearances on our top 3 this week. That was the 3rd best moment you heard from a guest on the Drake Toll Show Monday through Thursday. Sal returns on the list for number 2, talking specifically not about the must-win nature of this, but the Joe Brady hire itself.
Okay, so I think that the reason why that people use more than anything is, and I was surprised that Joe Brady was hired from this standpoint. When Terry Pegula says at the podium, the reason why he moved on from Sean McDermott was because they couldn't get over the proverbial playoff wall, which is fair. You feel that's a message that they're going to go outside the franchise for another voice, another direction. And then you hired somebody who's on the leadership staff as a coordinator of the same coach you fired for not getting over the proverbial playoff wall. So for a lot of Bills fans, it represents, wait a minute, why did you do that if you're just going to keep the same kind of person in place? So I think that's where confusion comes from. That said, I will tell you, though, it's just like I tweeted last week. At some point, the dust settles, you hire a coach, the business of football begins again. And you have number 17, Josh Allen. And you have a guy in charge now of the organization as the head coach who just led, the 4th-ranked offense in points scored, which previously was the 2nd-ranked offense in points scored, 4th in yards per total yards, a very highly rated offense. And, oh, by the way, his quarterback was the league MVP his first year as the full-time offensive coordinator, and then he had the rushing leader his second year as full-time offensive coordinator. So there's a lot to like about Joe Brady. I just think Bills fans are confused and upset because it feels like the same, even though we were told it was a change, and they were told it was a change, and I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
Confused and upset. Sorry, Bills fans, if you feel that way, but you just got your offensive coordinator from the head coach who got fired. And now he's in a must-win spot. Thanks, Sal Capaccio. And finally, number 1 on the list, a man who played in the National Football League and brought that perspective to this show in perspective of the Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy, of all people. Jeff Schwartz says, please have hope as our number 1 moment on the Drake Toll Show this week.
Yeah, it's a good question. Look, there's always
1.5,
right? And the NFL is our favorite sport for many reasons. One of them is hope.
I have like a minute on the other side.
Kind of hope in a locker room. And I think you have to believe in what your team is doing. Otherwise, what's the purpose of going through everything that we go through as players to not believe in our staff and in our decisions? So I think there's going to be just hope, right? Like, okay, we bring in McCarthy. We know he can coach quarterbacks. Maybe he got stale with Tomlin, and players might disagree with that. But there's going to be hope that McCarthy can be the guy to take them to where they want to go. I don't think that on day one there's going to be a ton of players who are not on board with this. I mean, it's just the nature of it. You just sort of have to buy in. Otherwise, it's a pretty miserable existence in the NFL if you're not happy where you are. And so, yeah, some of the older guys that probably have such loyalty to Tomlin I don't love it. But McCarthy's going to come in today. He's going to meet with all the players. He's going to say the things he has to say. He'll meet with all the veterans and talk about a leadership council. And it's going to feel good today. Their biggest problem is quarterback. McCarthy, the 3 years in Dallas when Dak was healthy, he won 12 games all 3 years. The 1 year he was not healthy, he won 7 games. So he can win games. They need a quarterback, though. Aaron Rodgers is not a long-term solution. Not a great draft for a quarterback. Not really many guys available via trade that you feel great about. So, McCarthy's tenure in Pittsburgh will come down to figuring out who the quarterback is.
That was Jeff Schwartz, NFL vet, joining the Drake Toll Show this week with our number one moment of the week, saying, have hope. Fans want to have hope. McCarthy won a lot of regular season games in both Green Bay and Dallas. Can he get it done in the postseason? That's the question with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and who will his quarterback be? We'll cover all that next week. Hey, and just got the news down the line that Lou Holtz is in hospice care today. That coming out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Melinda Mayo reporting, and our thoughts are with him and his family. And certainly we'll talk about him and his legacy, his life, as he continues a battle come next week. Awesome, man. NFL coaching carousel, Super Bowl, just the opportunity for me to get to talk to you is awesome. Addie Bates produces from Washington, D.C. Curtis Poindexter runs the board in Culver City, California, Santa Monica, Los Angeles, whatever you want to call it. To Bruce Gilbert, Colin Jones, Armin Williams. You Better You Bet is on the way. And when we come back Monday, it will be the week of the Super Bowl. Half our staff, almost the whole station, is on location in San Francisco. In the meantime, see you 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Monday. This has been, it always will be, The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood